Welcome to another edition of OnsideSa, and things are starting to pick up with regard to the new season in British football. It starts on the 12th, and obviously we will be going with our last one standing, which will be massive this year. We're expecting to get 2 or 3 in, and Budge, we're only starting on the 19th.
Yeah, we start the 19th, Paul. Man United, Man City on in the first week, so it would be a little bit unfair to several people. So we'll start at the latter week. Also, people can have a look at the new teams coming up, the Leeds and so on. So we'll give the guys a chance.
Yeah, good idea. We're just waiting to get through to Stevie B in the UK. But in the meantime, we're going to start with the PSL because that's really hot now. 1 game left, Budge.
Paul, last game, we'll start together. I think it's 3:30 on Saturday. It was good last night on SuperSport. They had 3 games on the channel. I think it was 205. So you could watch all 3 of them as opposed to the Pirates, which was on the main channel.
Yeah.
But a lot of pressure coming on, Paul.
At this stage, Chiefs have to win and hope that the other team don't win by 3.
Yeah, I think they're 3 goals ahead.
3
so
goals
if Chiefs
ahead.
win, I think they've got to score 5 goals to win because Chiefs have scored more goals than Sundowns. So it'll be a hard game. They played Baraka in the last game.
Who does?
Chiefs. Baraka are second bottom.
Whoa.
They got beat 4-1 by SuperSport last night.
That's
so
the player sent off.
Pressure, Dylan Kerr's under pressure. Yeah, they've got to go for it. So we'll see what happens. But, Paul, watching Chiefs, they got beat by Wits 1-0. The guy, Nergovic, missed a chance from a yard out.
Yes,
was worse than Sterling's for Man City. But pressure on.
So 2 or 3 to win it and to go down. Polokwane?
No, they're gone, Paul.
Gone. And then one more team goes into playoffs.
That's Baraka. Everybody be
Everyone
hoping
from
Chiefs.
Chipper to Baraka, which is AmaZulu, Black Leopards and Baraka, are in danger.
Well, everyone's hoping, or teams at the bottom will be hoping Chiefs beat Baraka. Then they're in the playoff and the rest of them are safe.
Yeah.
So that's their hope, but it doesn't work that easy.
Okay, well, let's go and have a look at the games this week and the prices, Budge.
Well, Paul, there were no prices because they played last night.
Oh, of course.
And I waited till this morning. As of like 8:30 this morning, there were still no prices. So I didn't want, there was one guy up, but I didn't really want to take the betting because obviously there's variables.
Yeah.
So it'll be out lunchtime today, I would imagine.
Okay, well, let's have a look at, here we go.
AmaZulu Highlands,
AmaZulu got to go their hardest.
Yeah, they need a point, Paul. The 1-0 up, conceded late against Stellenbosch, but Highlands beat Cape Town City. I fancied Cape Town City last night, but Highlands, I think, lost 1 in the last 10. So I don't see Highlands getting beat there, Paul. The problem they've got is they've drawn 6 of them. So it's a
lot
draw.
of pressure on AmaZulu because you never know what's happening below you.
But they've played well the last couple of games. They under Lamini since he's taken over. They beat Chiefs. They beat Black Leopards in a crucial game, and they played well last night, Paul.
Yeah.
Draw for me there.
No, Baraka really are fighting for their lives, and they've got to hope that they can pick up a win. But Chiefs are fighting for the title.
It should be Chiefs all day, but it's pressure, Paul. You've been through it. Can you handle it? And Baraka have got to go for it. That's the problem,
Where are they playing it?
They're playing, I think it could be Dobsonville.
Okay.
I'm not too sure, Paul. But it could be Orlando Stadium because that's where Chiefs normally play.
Why Chiefs ground?
Well, it's a neutral. They've put certain clubs in certain facilities. So SuperSport play at Bidvest Wits ground. Some of them play at Attridgeville. But Chiefs were playing at Orlando. I haven't checked it. But this is a pressure game, Paul.
Okay, Bidvest Wits, Polokwane, anything to play for?
Well, Bidvest Wits are going for 3rd. Gavin was throwing his toys out the cot. They got beat 1-0 last night. He wasn't happy, but it happens, Black Leopards beat them, I think it was 1-0. Polokwane are struggling, Paul. They've got to go for it. So there should be goals in that particular game, but obviously Bidvest Wits, Paul, should be. Polokwane are terrible.
Bloem?
Well, I think Bloemfontein Celtic on Wednesday, I fancied them last night. They drew 0-0 with Arrows. But they're playing on the Wednesday night in the Nedbank Cup final against Sundowns. So I think he's going to rest the majority of his better players. So I think this is a great chance for Maritzburg United to get a result, Paul.
Yeah. Okay, who else is there, Bud?
Second page, Cape Town City SuperSport. It was all over Cape Town City, but SuperSport are a good team, Paul.
Yeah.
Krobler missed a penalty after my big mouth saying what a good player he was. He missed a penalty against Pirates. But he scored a good goal last night with a back heel. SuperSport are the 2 teams there, Paul. Chipper, Golden Arrows. Well, Golden Arrows can't score.
Chipper got to just be careful.
Yeah, got to be careful, Paul. I don't see Chipper getting beat because they'll take the draw.
Yeah.
If ever there's a game that's got draw written all over it, it should be this one. Arrows just can't score goals, Paul. They're lucky they had a good start. Otherwise, they'd be in serious trouble. So a draw and Chipper for me there.
Black Leopards could still go into playoffs.
Funny team, that Black Leopards, Paul. You know, they beat Wits last night. They were flying around, really played well. But it's all in Sundown's hands, Paul. Sundown's got to win. You'd expect them to win.
Yeah, fighting with the
You know, can they beat them 5-0 and hopes Chiefs win one? No. But I think they should win the game, Paul. They've got enough quality to win. And Pirates, you never know with Pirates, Paul. They don't score many goals either.
Yeah.
You know, they got lucky against Supersport. They scored 2 crackers. Supersport should have come back and at least drawn with them. 1-0 last night, late goal against Maritzburg. But Stellenbosch have fought hard. Steve Barker's done a good job with them. So I'd throw the draw in. I wouldn't back Pirates because they don't score many goals. But for me, win and draw Pirates there.
Looks like we're still battling to get hold of Steve. Sorry, I didn't get that. No Stevie B yet, eh? Unfortunately, we need him. Let's get those out of the way. Unless I'll try and get him on his mobile.
Yeah, let's try, Paul.
Let's try. Let me try and get Stevie B on the mobile.
He's got all the latest with all the signings, Paul. There's been there were several
we
yesterday.
did it once before, but I had to get near the speaker. So let me try. I'll try and get Stevie B up and running, and then we can go through all the Premiership's new signings, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. It gets very interesting. Just while we're talking about it, when is the closing date?
Paul, I think it's in September sometime. I don't actually know. I haven't checked. I listened to a guy, Mark Ogden, on ESPN this morning, and they were talking about Upamechenko, I think, going to Man United from RB Leipzig, and they're saying they've still got like 4 more weeks. So I'd imagine it's mid-September sometime.
Okay.
Morning. How are you?
Steve, how are you? We're having problems here at Gravel, so I've got you on my mobile phone. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you. Can you hear him, Budge?
Yeah, I can hear you, Steve. Morning.
Okay, just check. Studio. Can the studio hear? Okay, all right. Sorry, Steve, to have to. A whole system got hacked here, so they just they put structures in place which have made it difficult. But we've got through a big race day with it, so we've done a portion of our show. We're coming back to you to get rolling, and obviously we need to know about these Premiership's new signings.
Steve, the Messi latest.
What's the Messi latest, Budjos?
So evidently Messi's father, who is effectively his agent, is in talks with the Barcelona board at the moment. And I think it's all going to be about a compromise because, no one's going to pay the sort of release fee. Yet on the other hand, there was a sort of gentleman's agreement that he could leave for free at the end of every season. And the only reason this has all arisen is because the season got extended. So I think if he is going to leave and if his mind is made up, then there will be a compromise. I suspect Man City, who we think it will be prepared to pay a fee, but probably nothing more than 100 million, let's say.
Okay.
But otherwise, he could hold out and say, right, I'll come and play for you, but I am definitely leaving at the end of next season for nothing. So, I think it would be terrible if it ended, acrimoniously after everything he's done for Barcelona or what Barcelona has done for him. I think that would just be a terrible end to his career there. So you hope that there would be some sort of sensible compromise, because if his mind's made up, I mean, he doesn't know Barcelona or anything. He's won everything for them. So, I think if his mind is made up and he wants to try something different for the last 3 years of his career, say, then you'd hope that they come to some fair and, sensible compromise.
Yeah, that's right. So hopefully resolved in the next few days? I
think so. I think that all parties want to get it resolved. It doesn't serve any purpose to drag it out. I think there is a deal to be done, and ultimately, obviously you've got the current president who's probably going to be replaced in March, doesn't want to lose too much face, but on the other hand, does he want to go down as the man that, ended up in a legal case with their greatest ever player?
Yeah.
Steve, is it going to be Man City or PSG that he goes to?
I think at the moment everything seems to point to Man City, unless PSG come out and say, right, I think if he wants a real challenge, I think it's going to Man City. If all he wants to do is maybe try and win the Champions League again, then I guess he can help PSG. But, week in, week out, French football is nowhere near as strong as the Premier League. So if he really wants to test himself against, the strongest league in the world, then he's got to come and play for City.
Yeah, okay. Steve, on the latest signings, what are your boys Fulham up to?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously we brought in the last week, officially we brought in Harrison Reed, obviously we had on loan from Southampton, and also Mario Lemina, who was Southampton's record signing when he joined them. So we are definitely, I mean, we're being linked with quite a few players. I think that what Fulham tend to do more often than not is they'll bring one or two players in that gone under the radar a little bit because we can't outbid certain teams. You know, everyone seems to be chasing Callum Wilson, Ollie Watkins, but I think that at the moment, I think we've got one more midfield player they're looking at, and that's Florentino Luis for Benfica. I think we're very close to a deal. But otherwise, there is no question we need a right back and a left-sided centre back. So I think those are priority, and hopefully there are things behind the scenes to get those in.
Okay. Now, Man United signed Donny van der Beek. What's the latest with Upa Machina, I think, Meccano, the RB Leipzig centre-half?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I mean, you know, I think the Donny van der Beek deal went through fairly quickly.
Yeah.
You know, but I think, you know, we know that they need to address their defence. So I think, you know, there is no question. You know, Solskjaer doesn't want to start the season with the same defence because they leaked too many goals. They were tied in the second half, but you know, ultimately they were undone at the back. And I think that winning goal against them just summed it all up. So I think that he does know he needs to strengthen his defence. His forward line is not the issue. You know, they're going to score goals. I think they still have. You know, I think they still think that they could bring Sancho in, but the clubs have got to move on valuation.
Yeah. Any news from Tottenham to keep Paul happy? Any signings there?
Doherty.
Well, it's fairly quiet at the moment because they bought Doherty in, and he's a good, you know, a bit older than, you know, maybe Mourinho would want to buy, but he's a good player, done very well, you know, spent obviously years at Wolves, come through the, you know, three divisions with them, but really taken to, you know, attacking right back. I think that I get the impression they need to sell before they can buy. So, you know, we know that Aurier is probably going to go. There's a big question mark about Ndombele. They paid a lot of money for him, and whether or not Mourinho fancies him or not. You know, obviously if they do sell him, they want to recoup a big chunk. But you know, they haven't been very active yet. But you know, there is a while to go. There was a rumour that whether Gareth Bale will come back to the Premier League and go to Tottenham, but unless he was prepared to drop his you know, wage demands, there's no way Tottenham are going to pay anywhere near the sort of money that he's getting at the moment.
Paul, what have you heard on your side with your guys?
Just Holberg, you know, obviously the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Doherty, I've heard that they're all there, and at least they got a few in the bag. And as Steve said, we have to sell. I don't think he wants to sell Davies. I'd give him away. Yeah. He's got to get rid of Aurier. Aurier just hasn't done it. And some clubs are interested in him. They'll get a few quid for him, but they've got to move a few. We've got a lot of players, 7, 8 in the midfield. We can't play them all. Yeah. You know, so it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think there'll be a mixture. I think that they'll. I think like the players that they're talking about definitely probably going to go will be Foyth and Aurier. They'll probably loan out one or two as well. To, you know, but there is no question. I don't think at the moment they're in for you know, a big money signings. I mean, you look at the signings they've made. You know, they've been, you know, relatively modest, but you know, good players. But, you know, good
better than what they had.
So,
yeah. Well, as you know, Steve, in the last 2 months, Arsenal won more trophies than Spurs in 20 years. So we're trying to chew through that at the moment.
Yeah.
Arsenal, what have they done, Butch?
Yeah, Gabriel, I heard.
Yeah, well, Gabriel, you know, was quite highly sought after. They didn't have to pay a huge amount for him. I think that they see, my understanding, Arteta sees as his possibly his centre-half pairing. You know, Luis could be in and out, but it could be Gabriel and Saliba. You know, I think he's putting together a good young side. Big question mark over Lacazette, whether he's going to stay or not. It's gone very quiet on that. But it seems to be, and I was very surprised when they were talking about selling Ashley Maitland-Niles. I mean, he was probably their best player in the Community Shield, but I get the impression now that he won't be sold and he's going to be integral part of the defence, particularly as it looks like they might sell Bellerin.
Oh, where's he going to go? PSG?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the big clubs are looking at him, and I think that, you know, for enough money, they probably would be prepared to sell, especially if he said, "Look, I'd like to go." So, but he's building a strong team. I think he might need somebody else up front though, if Lacazette goes. He probably need somebody else in. But they played well. They played well in the Community Shield. So I think that if you look at their record, since January, it's been pretty good. So whether they're quite strong enough, top four, I don't think so. But they're not going to be as far away as they were this season.
All right. Steve, you're going to have to leave Chelsea and Everton, but we go on to the EFL Cup. I've got a few games for you to let us know because we have them in our pools this weekend. The first one is Sunderland versus Hull City. How do you see that going?
Yeah. I mean, on paper you'd think Sunderland, but Hull City obviously had a shocking season last season and deserved to go down in the end, but they've actually, they've got a few of their bigger name, higher wage players off the bill, but they brought quite a few players in. So I think it'll be a tight game, especially these sort of one-off games. I think they're more like glorified pre-season friendlies because it's still, before the season actually starts. I've not heard much about Sunderland. It's been very quiet. I think Sunderland probably at home just about too strong. Okay,
the Tractor Boys of Ipswich against Bristol Rovers. What's your call there?
Yeah, Ipswich should be too strong. Although Bristol Rovers, I understand, broke their transfer record this week, but I think that Ipswich should be too strong at home.
Okay, Bolton versus Bradford.
Yeah, Bolton again. Obviously, had a terrible season and went down, but they brought quite a few players in. I think they'll be a bit too strong. I think Bolton will win that.
Okay, now what's the latest with Wigan? I see they're trying to sell the clubs because we've got them against Fleetwood on Saturday.
Yeah, I feel very sorry for Wigan. I mean, they had a fantastic second half of the season. Yeah. One of the most informed teams, but if it wasn't for that 12-point deduction, they were comfortable at sort of almost halfway. Yeah, their team has been virtually broken up. At the moment, they've sold them most of their best players, and others are likely to go. It's a terrible time for them. I think Fleetwood probably on the day will be too strong.
That's your boy left, Joey Barton's team. Barnsley, Notts Forest, that should be a close game.
Yeah, I think it will be a close game. Forest have just pretty much, it looks like they're about to sell Matthew Cash to Aston Villa. Okay. So he certainly won't play. They haven't strengthened that much yet. I think Barnsley went down, but Barnsley stayed up with a fantastic run at the end of the season. Yeah. I think Barnsley might just be a little bit too strong. Okay, and last but not least, MK Dons versus Coventry City. Yeah, I think that Coventry City should be too strong. Obviously, they won. They went up. They won the league and the championship for the first time in many years. Yeah. I just think they'll go there and should win. Give them a smack. All right, Steve. Now, betting aside, now we've got the Nations League. We're going to start with Nation League 1. We'll pull the slides up now. Italy against your Bosnia team that haven't got Pjanic. The Italians too good? Yeah, I think Italy should be too strong. Most of their players are available. I think they should win that. Yeah, okay. Now, Netherlands against the Poland team, who Lewandowski's been given a couple of weeks off. You think they'll win easy? Yes. Yeah. Well, I think that it's interesting. So, virtually all the Bayern Munich players and the likes, are not available in the Champions League matches, which has a bearing. So I think without Lewandowski, they haven't got enough up front. The Netherlands should be too strong. Okay. Now, England are playing an Iceland team, I read, whose 5 best players aren't playing. Sigurdsson and the other... No, England should win that. They were down to a few players themselves, but at the end of the day, I know that we lost to Iceland in the last time we played them in the European Championship. Yeah. But I think that England should be too strong. Well, I think it will be close because it is early in the season and players aren't going to go at it 100% and get injured. But I think that England should win that. Yeah, I see Sigurdsson from Everton said he'd rather stay with his club, and Sigmundsson from Burnley as well said they'd rather concentrate on the league than playing for their country. Jesus. Well, it's interesting because someone like Sigurdsson is possibly on the way out with the sort of signings that Everton are bringing in. I think he's on the list I saw this morning of players that Ancelotti is happy to let leave the club. Yeah. Now the next game should be a cracker. We got you Denmark versus Belgium. Belgium too strong? I think they will be. You'd expect. I mean, Denmark. A decent side, especially at home, but Belgium when you look at the squad they've got and the players they've got, they don't always turn up on the day, but I think that they should be too strong.
All right, Steve, on to our second page. The game I think is the highlight of the weekend before, other than tonight's game, Portugal versus Croatia. What's your call?
Portugal, one of those teams, they often do far better than people think they're going to in tournaments. I fancy them, I just think that especially at home, I think they'll be too strong.
Yeah, Croatia without Rakitic and Modric as well. Now, can you trust the French to win in Sweden?
Well, what's very interesting is that France have named a very strong squad, whereas sort of Germany have rested all their sort of Bayern Munich players.
Yeah.
France have included some of their PSG and Lyon players. So, had they not have done that, I might have fancied Sweden to hold them. But otherwise, I think that they're not an easy team to beat. Sweden, especially on their home patch. I think that'll be a very close game. Either looking at a draw or a very narrow France win.
Okay, now Spain play the Ukraine on Sunday. They both play tonight. Do you think the Spanish should be too good for the young Ukrainian team?
I think they will be. I mean, Spain play Germany tonight.
Correct, yeah.
That's a tough game, but even though Joachim Low has already said, don't expect too much from Germany because they've rested all the Bayern Munich and the RB Leipzig players. But I think Spain will be too strong for Ukraine.
Okay, talking to Germany, surely they've got to beat Switzerland.
You would think so. I mean, the Swiss are not a bad side at home, but obviously, again, you're going to take out some of the, if you're taking out the Leipzig and the Bayern Munich players, they're obviously playing sort of like the one on, five behind their back. Having said that, it'd be interesting to see the possible Chelsea pairing of Timo Werner and Kai Havertz playing together.
Yeah.
So I think they will be too strong, but I think it'll be quite close.
Okay, Steve. On to Nations League B. We've got Romania playing Northern Ireland. Can Lafferty and co cause an upset?
Carl Lafferty, a good thing.
I mean, obviously they really punched them up their weight last year, Northern Ireland, but I think Romania at home will be too strong for them.
Okay, Hadji up front. Okay, and the last one with you, Steve. We've got Scotland versus Israel. Can Scotland finally win?
Well, you never know what you're going to get with Scotland.
Yeah.
I think that it's a game they should win, but it will be tight. Israel don't travel as well. If this was in Israel, I would have fancied them to beat Scotland. But I think they might just pinch up Scotland. But you have to say, they every year when they play in these tournaments, even like they have some crazy results, often at home. So I think it'll be close, but it's a one-goal win possibly.
Yeah, Steve Clark's boys, 8-10, good thing. Steve, there's two other games. I know I didn't send them to you. Norway versus Austria.
Yeah, I think this will be a close game. I like Austria. I think they played pretty well last year. I fancy them to go there and get a result.
Yeah. The only thing with that is, I read something with the Bayern Munich's Bar Sulla, the centre-half who's playing for Germany. Will David Alaba play for Austria? Surely he's got a rest.
Yeah, I mean, look, you'd think so, wouldn't you? It'd be interesting to see whether, but having said that, Germany have rested all their
Bayern boys. Players. I think we're for them.
Depends how strong, depends how, Alaba says, look, I really want to play. But, the club could say, look, you've got to have a 2-week break. So it remains to be seen.
All right, Steve. The last game we got on our slide, sorry I never sent it to you, was Slovakia, Czech Republic. Any idea?
Yeah, I mean, the Czech Republic were in England's group in the European Championship last year, and they were very up and down.
Yeah.
I think Slovakia at home probably be a little bit too strong.
Okay. The Czech Republic's the only team that beat England. Didn't they beat them 2-1 at home?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty shocking performance by England, but they didn't have a particularly good tournament, the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
It was, but I think just again, these teams don't travel very well, so I think Slovakia
at home,
from what I know, should be a little bit too strong.
All right, Steve, pressure on. You're going for 3 in a row. What's your best bet and your best value bet?
Yeah, this is a tricky one, but I'm going to go for my best. I'm going to go for Romania. I just think they're going to be far too strong.
Beating Laf and Co, Okay.
And then value?
And your best value bet?
That's a tricky one. I might go for Austria. I like Austria. I think that they can get a result. I was going to go, if France had rested some of their PSG players, I would have gone to Sweden. I'm just not quite sure that it's time to play a strong team between the beat them. So I'm going to have a punt and go for Austria.
All right.
Lovely.
Steve, EFL, any fancies? I know you've been scouring the page. Any fancies for our punters here? I know you fancied Middlesbrough yesterday.
On the PSL?
No, the EFL Cup.
EFL.
Your cup.
The EFL Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean as the winner?
No. Do you fancy any teams? I see a lot of
pick it.
championship games in. Fancy Middlesbrough?
Yeah, the thing is with this is these teams have got no form at the moment. Most of them haven't played, so you just don't know what you're going to get. You think I can't see that many upsets. There's quite a few championship teams playing away, but I can't see many upsets. I think this is the thing. There will be, and I think sometimes they come out of left field. It's like Colchester, where the surprise team last season and beat sort of Crystal Palace and had a good run. They're sort of team that go. Oxford are a good little side.
Okay.
They held Brentford the other day. So it's a whole. I think there's too many permutations here. And as I say, they've got no form. None of them have played yet. Normally they started the league before they play their first EFL game. That's a pretty tricky one.
Okay.
Stevie, as always, thanks very much. Hopefully we'll have our phones all set up again and everything rolling. But until next week, au revoir.
Au revoir, or Aurier.
Aurier, get rid of him. Thanks, Stevie. Thanks very, very much. All right, Steve. There we go. There's Stevie B.
Yeah.
We had to use the mobile to get him, but good to hear him, and he was loud and clear.
Yeah.
Right, Budge, we've got an idea exactly what's going on. We've done all the football. Now it comes to the
exotics
pools.
time, yeah.
Tell me about your pools and that, Budge, how you've read them.
Yeah, Paul, first one is the South African Soccer Six. I think Sundowns will be too good for Black Leopards. I've thrown the draw in with Orlando Pirates, so Orlando Pirates win and draw against Stellenbosch. I've gone the field in the Cape Town City Supersport game. I'm chancing Maritzburg, just presuming Bloemfontein Celtic will rest their players with the final on Wednesday. Chipper and Golden Arrows, I've gone the field there. And I've thrown the draw in with Baraka. Just got a funny feeling. Chiefs aren't scoring many goals. Pressure game.
Pressure game, yeah.
You just never know, Paul. 2-1-6. The second one is the international one. I think England would be too good for Iceland. I've gone Azerbaijan, win and draw at home against Luxembourg. I've gone the field in the Cyprus-Montenegro clash. I've banked Belgium to beat Denmark. I'm going the field in the Portugal-Croatia fixture. And I've thrown the draw in with the French. I don't trust them. Win and draw.
I want to ask you a question, Budge. When you're picking these Soccer Six, I see there's another Soccer Six. You left that. And
I left the EFL, Paul. We only do two.
Okay, no, that's fine.
So the PSL and the international, those are the main pools.
Okay, no problem. Give me your 10, Budge.
Yep, the 10. I've gone the field in the Amazulu versus Highlands Park match. I've banked Sundowns to beat Black Leopards. I've gone Orlando Pirates, win and draw at home against Stellenbosch. I've banked Bidvest Wits to beat Polokwane. I've gone the field in the Cape Town City versus Supersport fixture. The second page, I'm chancing Maritzburg to beat Bloemfontein Celtic. I'm going Chipper United, win and draw against Golden Arrows. Had to find another banker, so I've sided with Chiefs to beat Baraka. 2 EFL games. I've gone Sunderland, win and draw at home against Hull City. And Ipswich Town, win and draw at home against Bristol Rovers, 288.
All right, the big dog.
The big one on the 30, another carryover this week, Paul. I've gone France, win and draw in Sweden. I've gone Portugal, win and draw at home against Croatia. I've banked England to beat Iceland, Belgium to beat Denmark. I've gone Georgia to avoid defeat in Estonia. I've gone Azerbaijan, win and draw at home against Luxembourg. I've gone Cyprus, win and draw at home against Montenegro. Second page, I've gone GIF Sundsvall, win and draw at home against Osters. I've banked Young Koping Sodra to beat AFC Eskilstuna. I've gone with Algrad to beat Norby at home. I've banked Germany to beat Switzerland on Sunday. I've sided with Spain to win at home against the Ukraine. And I'm throwing in the draw with the Republic of Ireland against Finland, 256.
Right, let's look at your best bets, Budge.
Yeah, Paul, I've started with a 6 and X first because there's not many games.
Yeah.
I've gone Netherlands to beat Poland. I've gone Belgium to beat Denmark. I've gone Germany to beat Switzerland on Sunday. I've gone Scotland to win at home against Israel. I've gone North Macedonia to beat Armenia and Brentford to beat Wycombe Wanderers in the EFL Cup. 20-1.
Okay,
The handicap, yeah, they've all got to win by more than 1 goal. I've gone England to beat Iceland, Italy to beat Bosnia-Herzegovina, Germany to beat Switzerland away on Sunday, and Brentford to win at home in the new stadium against Wycombe.
But more than 1 goal.
More than 1 goal, yeah.
Got to be 2-0, 2-0.
Got to be 2-0, 3-1,
Okay.
4-1, whatever. Yeah, so 22-1, Paul's a great price.
Yeah.
Our team's only goals quartet. I'm going Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany, all to score over 1.5 goals, and England to score over 2.5 goals.
Okay.
No, it's tough, but when I read them resting for their best 5 players, I've got to go for England.
Got to go
so
for
12
it,
to 1, 2,400 to 200. Both teams to score games are Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Croatia, Spain, Ukraine, and Norway, Austria, 2,300 to 200.
Okay.
Anytime goal scorers, I had to find something else. So I'm going Harry Kane to score against Poland. I'm going Romelu Lukaku to score against Denmark, and I had to get somebody at a decent price.
Penalty taker.
I don't think he'll take them if Ronaldo's playing. I forgot about that. So I'm going Bruno Fernandes, Paul. He was 3 to 1. So it worked out at 13 to 1, 13.5 to 1.
Okay.
So I think the first 2 will score. Just got to hope Fernandes can take a free kick off Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And I had to have a bet to the EFL Cup. So I've gone Derby to beat Barrow and Middlesbrough to beat Shrewsbury by more than 1 goal. And I've gone Cardiff to beat Northampton and Swansea to beat Newport County, 2,900 to 200.
Very good, Bud. Some very interesting bets in there. Yeah. And don't forget, we're getting closer all the time to the start of the league. It starts on the 12th, and our last one standing starts on the 19th.
Week,
so until next time, stay on side.